Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. This is your host, Kriss, here with, I got the entire Super Tuesday Recap team with me today. We got Deepam here, we got the Doctor, and we have Shanna finally joining us all the way from the West Coast while she's eating dinner.
Yeah, they won't let me be great and eat.
I'm just saying. You weren't sharing it with the whole class, so we had to put you on mute. I'm just saying.
I sent you a picture.
Yo, pictures don't feed families. What are you doing? What are we doing?
This is why we can't all be together. This is why we can't all do a show together. Like shit like this.
Well, we are here to finally do part 2 of the Defenders review. We've been breaking these out, and I think breaking them out has definitely been a good thing for us. We did the first 3 episodes last week. This week we were back to do episodes 4, 5, and 6. So episode 4 is Royal Dragon. Episode 5 is Take Shelter, and episode 6 is Ashes, Ashes. So, I guess we go. You know what, Shannon? Because we did not have you here last week. Let's go with you and just give us a quick rundown of what you thought of the first 3 episodes before we're going to do these next 3.
I really enjoyed this series. I do the thing where I usually have, but like, I take the whole day and I just binge the whole thing. And I was really, really disappointed when I got to like episode 6 and I realized there were only 2 left. I was like, this is some bullshit because I'm ready for another. Like, I was gearing up for another like 6, 7 episodes. I was ready. The first 3 are really good. I agree with you guys about Misty. Not that I think she's a bad character or a bad actress, Simone Missick, but I do think she's been like written very poorly. And it's weird because she is kind of another, like, she knows Luke and she seems to know of Jessica. So it's just weird the way she kind of reacts to them. And it's like you act like you don't know somebody who can take bullets and not die. Like, why are you acting brand new to this? So that was a little frustrating for me. But other than that, I really enjoy it. I love the banner. It gets even better in episode 4, especially between Jessica and Matt. I love their interaction. I think it's great.
Yeah, you know what I realized, and I particularly realized it again. I think it was episode 5 when they take everybody to. It's either 5 or 6 when they take everybody to the police department and they have Misty and Colleen there. And something I also realized after we did a review that I really figured out what my problems are with Colleen and Misty, and it's because these are the parts of the characters that we don't care about. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, nobody cares about Misty Knight, police officer. No, nobody cares about that Misty Knight. That's not the Misty Knight that we all think of when we think of Misty Knight. And we're getting that now, and it's not necessarily that it's bad. It's just one of those things that we're all kind of waiting. It's like when you're waiting for something to happen, and you're just like, all right, cool, we're gonna get it now. Okay, we're not gonna get it now. We're not gonna get it now. When are we gonna get? Like, I think that's where my problem comes in at with both of those characters. It's like I kind of want them to get to where we need to be. Where I feel like everybody else is kind of getting there. With them, it's like, we got to go through another fucking season of them not being where I want them to be at. I know we got to set the story up. I know we got to do it, but I just want to get to the part.
I kind of like, I guess I see what you're saying, but for me, I kind of like Colleen's part in this whole, the underpinning of the whole thing, and how her struggle kind of still mirrors Danny's and all that other good stuff.
She's not as bad. She's not as, don't get me wrong. She's not as, I don't feel the same way of Colleen as I do about Misty.
But the thing, I'm going to say it again because I'm rewatching it. Simone Missick's not the strongest actress.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but okay. My thing about Colleen is I think if we're talking just this series and in terms of the strongest actors, I think it's Matt, Elektra, and Colleen. I think they have some of the best, most emotional scenes that I connect with in this series. I can't really say if it's Simone's acting or if it's the writing. I just think Misty Knight is written really poorly.
She's not really Misty Knight. She's more like Misty Squire. Like, I'm just...
Don't laugh at that joke.
Come on, I spent all day on that joke. I spent all day on that joke.
Corny.
Come on. Come on. That was a corny ass joke. That was a perfectly
prepared material.
That was a perfectly corny ass joke. I spent all day working on that shit. What you laugh?
It shows. It shows.
I'm sorry.
That was great.
I couldn't let that slide.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway, we were saying
episode 4.
Yeah, no. So I think episode 6 had my 2 favorite Luke and Danny moments because again, it goes back to I think Finn Jones does his best when he's working with Michael Coulter and Michael Coulter with Finn Jones and also Christian Ritter. But it's that scene that they have sitting at the table, and Danny's doing that. First, he does that annoying thing where he eats the fucking dumpling, and he's chewing with his fucking mouth, and you want to strangle him, and you look at Luke, look at him like, I want to strangle this kid.
Must he be such a savage?
Yeah, I want to strangle this kid. And
Luke's face when he said when he finds out that he even ordered the dumplings.
Oh yeah,
Luke was like, "Baby, what are you doing? Why are we ordering dumplings right now? We are fighting for our lives."
But that whole exchange was funny because he was like, "Are those the pork?" And Matt was like, "No, the pork is coming out now."
Oh yeah, this guy's got pork. It's like.
He's like, no, it's not pork, it's shrimp. And he's like, oh. And then he's like, oh, no, here comes the pork. And he's like, oh. Like,
but the look on Luke's face, it's the absolute best.
Well, yeah, and then like when Danny's like, come on, yo, you want to do this? You know you like to do this. You know you need this. You want to be like the team. And like I'm watching that scene going, okay, yeah, I can definitely see Heroes for Hire here because Danny is annoying the fuck out of me, and you need Luke's in there going, I can't believe I'm dealing with this asshole. Like honestly, you know what I figured out. It's not just that I liked him playing off of Michael Coulter. It's the fact that I like Danny not being dark brooding Danny, because in those scenes you get Danny being Danny. You get Danny being that annoying little shit. You're like, okay, fuck, I got to deal with this guy and him.
But he's also right a lot. Like, right, you want to do it? Come on, just be a team. Like, shut up.
Right.
Shit.
He's like, and honestly, I think that this because David Walker did Iron Man and Power Fist, and I believe this is kind of like that first scene in that book where Danny's trying to get Luke to come back into, being a team again. And so they're sitting in the diner, and Luke's just like, I don't want to do this. And Danny's like, come on, yeah, you do. Come on, you know you do. You want to do this. Come on. You want to do it. And you're just
Luke's like, I'm not allowed. Jessica won't let me. Right. I already talked to her. It's fine.
Right. Right. And so I'm watching this scene, and Defender's going, okay, I can definitely see these two together because, good God, Danny's driving me crazy, and I feel like I'm Luke. But that's when he's at his best. When he's at the, come on, guys, I'm serial. I'm really serial. I'm the immortal Iron Fist. Like, oh, come on, Danny, just stop it.
I love it every single time he says, I'm the immortal Iron Fist.
They did it again this scene. Yeah, they did it again this episode.
Stop saying that.
Yeah, so fucking great. So fucking great. It's just great there.
I actually, not for nothing, I could watch a full 45 minutes of just the four of them at a table going at each other. I'm fine with that.
That was one of the reasons I really like this episode. It's like an old school bottle episode. You just stick them in a room. But it's kind of like we got the fight at the end of 3 that we kind of been waiting for. And now we get them playing off each other in 4 that we've been waiting for. And thank God Stick shows up to give us a lot of info dump because you can tell they've changed their plans from when they started Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
And also what you can tell is that, or what is really interesting is you realize, they don't all know each other. But some of them know each other. So it's really interesting. You're like, oh, Jessica knows Matt, but Matt doesn't know who Luke or Danny are. And then, Luke knows Jessica, and he just met Danny, a day ago. Right. So you're like, they all have, these little tangential connections to each other. I don't think any of them knows that they all know Claire. So it's just fun to see these characters interact for the first time and, realize who each other is. And when Matt finally says, right before the credits roll, when he's just like, hi, I'm Matt.
Right.
It's just such a good moment. It's like, I don't know. The first episode felt like we're getting the band back together, but this episode felt like when it's like the first time Batman and Superman meet.
Mm-hmm.
But them sitting down at a table and talking instead of just punching each other.
Yeah, I mean, I
connecting over mothers' names.
Right.
See, I was gonna act
See
like
what?
that
See
never
what?
happened.
Why you got to bring up old shit?
You brought up that abortion that happened on screen, not me.
You just brought
No,
it up.
actually,
Ain't nobody saying nothing
right.
about that except you.
They mentioned that movie. That's
No,
all that happened
no,
in that
no.
movie.
They mentioned Batman and Superman coming together. Nobody mentioned Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
I might have PTSD.
Yeah, I think you do, sir. I think you do.
I'm gonna need you to get some therapy for that. I'm gonna need you to dial it back.
This is their fault.
Like, seriously, nobody mentioned that movie. This is how much it hurt you. Good God. Yeah,
I don't know if that's true or
but
not.
it goes back to what we said last week, last episode. I really like the fact that it even makes sense because this is one of the things that can kind of get annoying. Matt not wanting to reveal his identity, but when you remember everything he's been through, you're kind of like, I can definitely see why he wouldn't want to do this. It's literally ruined. And he's one of the ones that really wants out. Like, unlike everybody else, they're not trying to be a team, but they're all kind of trying to get back into doing the thing. Even Jessica went back and took that case. Matt's on I'm trying to give this up, guys. I don't want to deal with this. That was a hand. I want no part of this. And we're not doing this little thing we're doing here where we reveal each other's identities and we all be one big mess. We're not doing that. I like that Jessica calls him out on his bullshit. It's like, come on, man. How long do you think it's going to take? It didn't take me long to figure it out. How long do you think it's going to take? Well, maybe it'll take them a little bit longer. They're kind of stupid. But it didn't take me long to figure this out. They're going to put it together, who you are. You might as well just go ahead and suck it up and do it, And I'm glad they didn't waste too much time on that. That they could have taken that in the entire episode with him wearing that stupid fucking scarf.
Let Matt be great with his scarf.
Jessica's scarf.
As Jessica said later on, I liked you better with the scarf on. So I like that. One thing I really like that they did, and something that you see from this episode and going forward, I like the scene where you have Alexandra and what was the guy she met? Murakami, I think that was his name.
Murakami, yeah.
Murakami. I love the fact that he doesn't speak English.
And they all understand him.
I love the fact that he's casually disemboweling a bear.
Yeah, as he's doing.
Okay, I gotta look this up. Sorry, because I had these notes on my computer. My computer won't open right now. That actor was in this movie called East Side Sushi, which was filmed in Oakland. It's about this Mexican girl who wants to learn how to make sushi. And he is the male lead in that movie. Mm-hmm. He is so fine. The minute I saw him, I recognized him. And I was like, he is so fine. And getting to hear him speak Japanese the whole entire time, it was blissful.
That just a long explanation of your thirst? Was that what that was?
See,
all I'm going to say
is that
everyone should go watch East Side Sushi because he's amazing in it. And he's very sexy in that as well. And yes, getting to hear him speak in his native language was amazing.
See, this is what we were missing. This is what we were missing from last week's episode. We didn't have the thirst that Shannon always brings in. I want to say thank you for this.
It's just a little special something.
Yeah,
brought to you by Gatorade, the thirst quencher.
Everybody has to bring something to a podcast, and thank you, Shannon. But no, I do. I really do like the actor, and I mean, throughout these episodes, I enjoy him because he's so casually dismissive. He's literally talking to her while he's disemboweling a dead bear. And he's also he's rude as fuck to Alexandra, basically telling her, "You're a shitty leader." That's his whole thing, is calmly telling her how much of a shitty leader she is the entire time. It is yes.
Honestly, if season 2 of Iron Fist was just us seeing how these guys left Kunlun and that whole backstory, it's so interesting because I'm like, why did they follow Alexandra? Why? Why did they want? You basically realize that their whole thing kind of get they left because they couldn't get what they wanted, and now they're trying to get back, and they've just been immortal. I love their backstory. The Hand is so interesting to me.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's we kind of talked about this last week too. It's interesting, but at the same time, I'm like I kind of wish they had this plan to begin with, because they're dropping.
I just wish it had felt, for everything that we've gotten. You're right.
Yeah.
For me, it felt small.
Yeah, no,
it felt
you're
super small. They made the Hand feel small. Like, so I rewatched the first season of Daredevil the last couple of weeks. Watching ninjas fly over the rooftops is terrifying and cool.
Yeah.
It made the Hand feel like 5 people who they 5 Ikaruses. Like, they flew too close to the sun, and now they didn't, like, what they wanted. It's not what they really wanted. It's a petulant, like, these are 5 people throwing a fucking tantrum.
No, well, and that's the problem. It's like they later on address this. I believe it's in. I think it's in episode 5. They address this, but you spent all these shows, and you've had different just in Iron Fist they really introduced different factions of the Hand, and they were at odds with each other because Bakudo, I think that's his name, Bakudo, he kidnaps Gal and is at war with them. Like, you kind of threw this part in there. Now all of a sudden they're back together and everything's fine. I like where they're doing now, but I don't know. It definitely seems like it's all been hand-fisted together at the last minute. It's stuff I kind of wish they've been setting up. I think it's a more interesting story if they had been setting this up since Daredevil season 1. But it's very, very clear to me that they weren't.
Well, there are aspects that were set up in Daredevil, like the purchase of Midland Circle happened in season 1.
Oh yeah, that stuff was. Like
there's things that are in, like they mentioned that Murakami is the guy behind Nobu, who they've had to kill and bring back.
But see, that's weird.
And I also, it's weird because in Daredevil, they make the resurrection seem so much more normal. Like a normal Hand ninja had vivisection, had autopsy scars already.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like all of a sudden we find out in these episodes. I think it's in 5 when they kind of admit that it's they use all of their the whatever it is the substance. That apparently also saying it's some kind of organism as well, I guess, is they use it all to bring Elektra back, the Black Sky back. But I'm like, so were you, before you did that, were you using it on just regular people? Were you just using it on lowly foot soldiers? Like, I don't know. It just seems like
the substance is fossil fuel.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is, but.
I didn't mean that when I said that, but yes, it literally is.
It literally is. It's literally fossil fuel. We'll get into that next episode.
I
don't know. It just feels like they again. I'm glad we're where we're at now, but the setup for it wasn't actually done very, very well.
Yeah, I wish there was more, I guess, sharing between the showrunners and things like that. Like, I think Sawande is such an interesting character who we don't get enough of, and had we just seen him in the background in a few things in Luke Cage, that would have been really interesting. Same thing with like Murakami. Like, they kind of say he's the one behind Nobu, but this is our first time hearing anything about him. So like, had that been seeded somewhere, and so it goes back to they didn't have time to plan, and it was kind of like this Daredevil thing took off, and then Jessica Jones was kind of its own thing, but it took off very quickly. People fell in love with it. Apparently Jessica Jones is the most popular of all of the single series. And so they were like, oh, if we just start rolling these other ones out, we can get this whole thing rolling. But I also felt Daredevil season 2 shouldn't have come out before we got the other Defenders.
Yeah. I think I messed some things up. Because here's my question. It's like, why do you even need Why do you even need Murakami? Why can't you just use Nobu? He's the one that you set up all this time, and I believe Debo, you watched it again, right? So he doesn't die in he doesn't die in season 2, does he?
Oh yeah, he does. He cuts his fucking head off.
Oh, he does.
Awesome.
Okay, never mind then. All right.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember if he got shot again and then disappeared again, or if he actually
he gets shot, he disappears, and he's walking in an alley in like kind of a
Stick. You're right. Okay, you're right.
Stick just cuts his head off.
Stick cuts his head off.
He
Okay,
says, come back from that.
yeah. Okay, that you're right. You're absolutely right on that one. But then even then, I still go.
He's obsessed with taking people's heads, isn't he?
I mean, that's the only way you can.
It works.
It's the only way that
Clearly.
works. Yeah. I mean, it's the only way to be sure. I mean, I
It's a thing.
yeah. I
No,
support
but
him on that one.
I think that like, as much as I have a problem with some of the shoving in of the larger mythos, I really enjoyed like the continuation of the Chase story, tying that into Danny. Even as you've realized that the people he's finding murdered by Elektra are members of the Chase, I thought that it was really smartly done, and like you said, intertwining Stick's telling of their history with watching them interact in the present was very, very nice. And yeah, I loved the banter. I loved the group of them all figuring out that they need to work together, and I love Jessica leaving.
Yeah, I like 4 and 5. I think 4 and 5 are some of my favorite episodes in this. One, because you do get the banter between them, and again, with 4 you have Jessica leaving and then coming back and then ending with her hitting Elektra with a car and then coming back and staying with the other ones, which I think is just it's just great. You know, you let her.
So on the rewatch, did she throw the car into the building?
I think she did.
Yes, she did.
Okay,
Yes,
I was like, wait a second, she didn't get on the driver's side.
Well,
because at first I thought she drove it, and then I looked, and I was like, no, she threw that damn thing through the window.
Thank you. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
I feel way better now.
Yeah, no, she definitely did that. You're like, wait a minute, did you just do this? And
I love Jess. I call her Jess because we're best friends.
No, I mean I think Jessica is she, despite being always drunk, she's one of the smarter people, and what I love about it is they're always using the fact that she's an investigator. She's actually good at her job. In this, you have her kind of figuring out that, hey, wait a minute, the same person signed all these documents. Maybe that weird little white boy in the restaurant isn't as crazy as I thought. Maybe I need to go do this. And just like Luke, she has this desire to do good, even though she tries to suppress it. She has to do this. And she has some of the best lines in here. Like when she was fighting the hand dude outside the architect's house, and she was like, "Am I the only one left who doesn't know karate?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you kind of are." Well, Luke doesn't know how to do karate either. So, but yeah, you kind of are. So, yeah, I really like that. Last thing I got on episode 4, I just gotta say, they should have done a better job of. It was very obvious that they went really cheap with Stick's hand being cut off. If you cut somebody's hand off, the nub should be shorter than their other arm with the hand on it. Like it was very clear they just wrapped some bandages around his hand and had him. It was just fucking with me. It was fucking with me the entire episode. Every time he put his arm down by his side, I'm like, why are your arms still the same length though? Oh God! Did nobody catch this in editing? Did nobody? Come on.
Why are you bringing up old shit?
It's not old. It just I'm watching it right there. It's like,
look, I mean, yeah, that's a worthwhile nitpick, but at the same time,
nitpick, yeah.
I got an episode where Sigourney Weaver walks into a room and literally everyone gets terrified, and it was like the presence she brings to this series.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Like for the first time I watched it, I was like, "Yo, she's gonna convince Danny to leave with her."
Really?
I was like, I might leave with her. She's very compelling.
I was gonna say I would go.
Like I was like, she's making a great case. I don't know why you wouldn't leave. And then Luke's the one who's like, Danny, no, and Danny stops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's little touches like that I really enjoyed, and of course, the musical score at the end when the four of them are lined up, and you're like, this is it. This is the hero shot.
Yeah.
And they finally become the thing Luke said, don't say, a team.
So, anybody, you got anything else you want to say for episode 4?
Okay. As much as I love them using Jess's detective skills, it was kind of annoying that she was the only one not there.
Of course she's going to leave. She's Jessica.
I know. I was fine, but
though.
you know, like I was just like, oh, but it's so good. Like I love her shading Matt. I love her shading Danny. The chemistry between her and Luke. Every single time her and Luke have a scene, I turn into like a fangirl. Like I squeal into my pillow. There's so much chemistry between her and Mike Coulter. I don't understand it.
Well, that reminds me. Her leaving the restaurant was she ended up leaving with talking to Luke, and again I'm just looking at them like, yeah, sorry Claire, you.
I turn into that like just kiss, like I just push their faces together.
The way you react to that is the way I reacted when Elektra eyeballed the sign in the weapon room. I was like, pick him up, Elektra.
That's another thing I had in my notes. They do a good job of setting that up, and I think they started that in, what was it, 2 or 3? I can't remember which episode it is. They do a good job of kind of foreshadowing that throughout the episodes until we obviously get to 6 where she picks them up and uses them. You know, so they've been hinted every time she walks into that weapons room, she looks at him, and I love the fact that they did that. It's a small, subtle thing they do, and because they know you're waiting for her to pick them up. You know, they know that, and they did that.
Before we move on from this episode, I want to give one more shout out to Marvel. Elektra always should be an Asian woman. She's a Greek woman in the comics, and they corrected a horrible sin by doing this in the series, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's see. So, episode 5, Take Shelter. We actually get to fight in the restaurant, which I love. Again, Jessica always has some of the best moments in here. When Danny goes to save her, when the hand open up and start firing in the restaurant, and she basically, get off of me, like just. I love the fact that that Jessica she just mean for no reason sometimes, and I fucking love it, especially when it's directed towards Danny, because fuck Danny sometimes.
I love how Danny's like, he's like, I have an iron fist. You're a ninja. He can't be killed by bullets. She's whatever. Like he doesn't know exactly what Jessica can do. He knows she has some sort of power, but
he knows she's strong as shit. Because remember in 4, she just throws the thing up and goes, "Wow, she's very strong."
Yeah. Well, she's drunk. She's able to get drunk and still, function way better than most human beings. So that's another one of her superpowers there. Is it me? And I know, and I guess this goes back to the idea of them. Well, I love Sigourney Weaver. And then in her, every scene she's in, she commands a presence, and that's no doubt there. But I think one thing that does hurt her character a little bit is the fact that she's just introduced in Defenders. Because I still, throughout everything going on here, I still feel like Madame Gao is really in charge.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And the problem was, I think Marvel tends to plan their stuff out, so I can't believe that they didn't have the Defenders in mind when they started doing this, but from everything we've seen, Madame Gao's been in every series,
right,
in terms of everything dealing with the hand. So the fact that all of a sudden we love having Sigourney, but it just seems to come out of nowhere. And honestly, I was waiting for Kingpin to show up my damn self.
Yeah, well, it's just like with Gao, especially when it comes to the hand, she just, like when she shoots the one dude, she's just like, we want them alive.
Well, I mean, and even with Bakuto in Iron Fist, Bakuto like trapped her, but he seemed intimidated by her, which made me think that she was the head.
Right, and I guess that's what they were trying to do.
So,
go ahead.
That was one of my like big complaints, I guess, when I was watching the first 3 episodes. I was like, wait, we're supposed to believe all of a sudden that like Madame Gao reports to Sigourney Weaver, like. She's been the big bad villain behind everything, and I'm supposed to believe that. It just felt a little. I was like, it feels a little like that schism. Like, why the white woman got to be in charge?
The reason I actually kind of liked the way because we're introduced to Sigourney Weaver, you don't really know who she is, but watching someone that we've been taught to be afraid of defer to her immediately gave her presence.
And I think that's what I think that's what they were. I think that's why it doesn't bother me. Yeah,
what really sold it for me.
When she tells her to feed the rest of the birds, they're hungry today. Yeah, I think,
and you get the feeling that Gal wouldn't dare not do it.
Right, and I think that's why. While it does bother me, I think I can't fault anybody for having a problem with it. I was more willing to let it slide because of that. It's like, okay, Gal's who I'm really afraid of, and if Gal's afraid of, Alexandria, maybe Alexandria, I still kind of wish I had seen more from Alexandria to feel that way. But I feel like that's where they were trying to go for. Yeah, Gal, to me, Gal is still like, and again, we get into jumping ahead to 6. I feel like they were always going to have Elektra try to take over and kill whoever was supposedly in charge, so they couldn't have Madame Gal in charge because they didn't want. You can't kill Gal. No, you need that character.
Oh, Gal does not leave this series in a bag. No.
Yeah, no. So you got to keep her alive. So it's like they needed. I hate to say, they needed somebody to put in a bag. So it's like, you get Sigourney Weaver, you get her, you establish her at the head, and then you cut the head off, and you're still left with Madame Gal.
And now you've elevated Elektra to be a bigger threat.
Exactly. And so now you have and Gal,
and you'd have to pay Sigourney Weaver for 6 episodes.
Right. Smart.
Which is the realist economy.
Right.
Economics here.
Right. I have in my notes here, Matt is a living embodiment of your dick is not your friend. Like, dude.
Oh my God. Have you seen that meme?
I know. I said that when I was watching. Are you talking about the meme that they put in the MTR group where the woman is standing and they put the caption of Elektra says, "I haven't done anything wrong ever," and then Henry Winkler's like, "You're absolutely right," and then the guy, what's his name?
Aziz. It's Aziz.
Aziz is looking at her like,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see the meme. I'm just like, I just like, come on, Matt. Come on, man.
No,
well, it's so frustrating because, the whole reason. So when in episode 3, when he encounters her, it's all like, I don't know if he smells her or what. He knows it's Elektra, but then also he doesn't hear a heartbeat. So I'm like, whatever you're dealing with doesn't have a heartbeat. At that point, it's not Elektra anymore, dude. It's not.
But she's not killing. She's not trying to kill him. She's not killing him though. Right. I can see why. I get. Look, your dick is not your friend. I still understand where Matt's coming from. I'm not saying he's right. I understand.
Okay, because I'm gonna be real ridiculous right now. Can you understand where he's coming from? Because in Daredevil 2, Elektra had everybody on the spectrum questioning their sexual orientation, or can you understand where he's coming from for some other reason?
No, see, and that's a good point, because I want to make a better point. Dick is not your friend is one thing. He wasn't attracted to Elektra because of her witty repartee, because that's gone. She's now like a zombie. Kriss, he can't even see her.
That's necrophilia, so technically.
He can't even see her, Kriss.
Yeah, you're right.
He smells her. I remember your smell. What are you talking about?
It's like that. It's like that. I don't know. Maybe she's washing herself in Gain and she still has the same smell. I don't know, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, first of all, I hate you. Second of all, I'm going to get that out of the way. I want to commit an act of blasphemy right now about these Netflix shows.
Uh-oh.
I think the Royal Dragon fight's better than the hallway fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I thought we were thinking.
Oh no. I mean, that's not even blasphemy. Blasphemy there.
Okay, cool.
No, that's fine. No. But like I said, I think that with the reason why, again, I can definitely see why the Elektra stuff would frustrate a lot of people. But the reason why I like it is because, one, it kind of does fit into Matt's character. Like I definitely believe that Matt would do this, and two, like. Everybody else kind of screams at him later on, like, "What the fuck, man? Are you serious?" So, like, it is stupid, but I like the fact, and I think that's why I like the Defenders just overall. When somebody does something stupid that we, the fans, go, "That's fucking stupid," somebody in the show goes, "Hey, motherfucker, that's stupid. What are you doing?"
It's usually Jessica.
And it's usually Jessica. Yeah, you're right. It's usually Jessica.
What I really appreciate on the rewatch is that I don't think I got it the first time. But what I realized on the rewatch is that the whole entire time, Matt is trying to protect his identity. People know who Jessica Jones is.
Oh, yeah.
People know who Luke Cage is because of his whole Hero of Harlem thing. People know who Danny Rand is. Because he's rich, people know of him.
Right.
But Matt is truly trying to protect his secret identity the whole entire time. He has a completely different agenda from everybody else. And not only is he trying to protect his secret identity, but he gave up his secret identity because of losing Elektra.
Oh yeah. And
so it's like two things. It's like being drawn back into this thing that he tried to let go of, and then also at the same time he doesn't want anybody to know that he's the Daredevil.
Well, it goes back to that scene in, I think it was episode 2, where him and Foggy are in Josie's and Foggy talking to him like he's a fucking drug addict. And he's trying to keep him busy and doing this. So what you're basically getting is, if you look at it that way, Matt's a drug addict who's trying to give up being a superhero. That's his drug. And you now meet 3 other drug users who are going, hey, look, man, so we got some good drugs over here. We're going to need you to come on over here and take some with us. And he's trying his hardest not to, and it does not work, which leads me into, I think, what's going to be the argument on the show. Fuck Karen.
You really
D-Palm, you promised
so
me a
much.
Karen death. You promised me she'd be dead. Why isn't she dead, D-Palm? You swore up and down she died.
First of all,
where's my death? I was promised a gruesome death. Where is it?
Allow me to retort.
Unless you're telling me that the first episode of the next series she's in, she dies. See, even the dog agrees.
See, hold
Where
on.
is Karen's death?
And I want to challenge all of us on something here as to why we hate Karen Page. Because like I said, I rewatched Daredevil season 1 and 2. I love Karen Page.
I need you to report immediately.
Let me finish. Karen Page in the first episode of Daredevil saves herself twice.
No, I like her in season 1. Season 1 I'm fine with. I can live with season 1.
Season 2. Her entire arc is colored by the knowledge of what she had to do killing Wesley. She knows how far it can push you. She doesn't want to see anyone else go that far. That's the entire... The same way Matt would tell her, hey, don't follow this case. I need you to stay safe. That's what she thinks she's doing for Matt. She knows what it can do to you to be pushed that far. She thinks she's trying to save him.
All right,
and that's like the kind of... I think that we've had a lot of distance from this character. And we got to remember that, like, everything that she's doing makes logical sense in her arc on the stories we're being told.
Can I?
So can I interject?
No, please.
When I first started watching Daredevil, I liked Karen for the very reason that you gave. She saved herself, and then she started making them silly ass cow eyes at Matt, and it was just like, seriously, girl, really? Is this what we're doing?
Okay.
Is this what we're doing? Really?
Additional rebuttal. I do not dislike Karen. I dislike Karen and Matt as a couple, as a romantic thing. In first season, it felt very much like they were moving towards her and Foggy being together, and then all of a sudden in second season, they were pushing her and Matt together, which I know is a comic thing, and I didn't it didn't feel right, especially with the amount of chemistry that him and Rosario have. Mm-hmm. I really didn't like the Matt Karen thing. The actress I love, I actually really enjoy her chemistry with Frank, and I know she's going to be in the Punisher series, so I'm excited to see what comes of that.
It's not going to be good.
I know. I'm hoping by the end of it, she's a drug addict, and it will lead into the next season of Daredevil.
So what you're telling me is she dies in November, so I just have to wait a few months?
No, she's not. I mean, Punisher's not going to.
She's not going to die until. She's not going to die until.
She dies on Daredevil's doorstep.
Yeah.
You're killing me. Yeah.
So let me give the greatest retort, and which is, I'll say, D-Palm, you made a really rational, logical,
and you're gonna just flush all of that like you always do.
Yeah, because my distaste for her has no logic whatsoever, so I still win. Donald Trump's America. I just hate her face. I just hate the face she makes every time she's about to tell Matt not to be Daredevil. I hate her face, and that's where my hate lives. And there's nothing you can say to defeat that. I win.
Kriss, men's rights activist. That's nice.
Oh yeah. No, I'm straight MRA on this one, y'all.
You son of a bitch. You wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm straight win MRA on this one. So I'm sorry. You can't defeat me
Not
on
a
this
good
one.
person. Next question.
Yeah, I embrace it. No, I mean, like I said, here, you know what it is. It's not even. I think that, I think my problem is like what you said is right there. I am not feeling the way they're writing her because it's like, and we'll get to this in episodes in the next episode when we review the last 2 episodes of this. Like when Foggy comes around and it's like he gives Matt the suit and it's like, hey, listen, I know you got to go do this. Do what you got to do. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than what I want. You have to do this. I know you. That's what I would like to see from Karen. Like,
but then he immediately backtracks when he talks to Karen. I gave it to him so he could turn it down.
Right, and I get that, but it's like I think in the back of his mind, Foggy also knows that you should. We'll get into that a little bit that scene later on when we get to next week. But it's like I kind of want that from Karen.
What's interesting is that Karen still holds on to that you shouldn't do this, even after their whole thing where they're all at the police station, and it's basically all of the loved ones of these superheroes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it makes no sense.
You have a community, like they.
You say loved ones, I say supporting characters.
Yeah, exactly. No, that part made me happy though. I was like, how's it? The gang's all here.
But they're the only ones who can't admit what Matt is.
Right.
And no, that's what was so interesting. Instead of having her sit and talk the whole time with Foggy, what I would really have loved to see more of is the cross interaction.
Well,
like I want to see her talk.
She and Patsy talked for a while. They did talk.
Yeah, but like, I didn't feel like she walked away with like, where Trish is a very clear supporter of what Jessica does and actually wants Jessica to do more. Like, I felt like Karen just kind of walked away like, yeah, we just got to get mad out of this. And I'm like, no.
She walked away with, you got to investigate this. And as far as like the Matt thing, I mean, if you want everyone to be cheering on the hero, like there's a certain narrative tension to someone saying you probably shouldn't be doing this.
No. It's not even that. I think more along the lines of like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like they could have written it a different way. Like when Max says, "Listen," she shows up to her office late at night. He's like, "Listen, I need you to come with me. It's the hand." She should. I definitely understand her being upset, but her whole thing was, "So you're doing it again," and this is why I'm like, bitch. He said the hand. All right, like you know what this is. It doesn't matter if he's doing it or not. You got to go. You can be upset that you're being dragged back into this, but you can't get mad at him about, so you're doing it again? What do you want him to do? Go to the cops? If he doesn't do it, who's going to do it? Like, who? She knows who the hand is. Who's going to take on the hand? Like, that's my problem with her.
Can you be upset in the Uber as we get away from the people who are going to murder us, no matter whether I do this or not?
Right.
Move your ass.
Like, I would have felt better if maybe he showed up in the costume, or she was upset. Like, he shows up like, listen, I need you to come away. Like, it's the hand. It's not like he showed up in the costume. He showed up. It's like, listen, you got to go. I can take care of myself. It's the hand. No, you can't. You know you can. What are you talking about? Like, that's where it drove me a line. She made it seem like he's dealing with the kingpin, or he's dealing with some street criminals. He's talking. He dropped the hand up front. Get in the fucking car. Go. Like, you're not gonna go. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You're dealing with the undead ninjas. You get in the fucking car. So anyway, I'm sorry.
No. You and me are here with that. She pissed me off, but I just don't like her. So there's that.
Yeah, there's that. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely have I have some problems with
She also got that black man killed.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, sorry.
Never forget.
I really liked the Looney Tunes bullshit when Luke got hit by the truck. That was some straight up Looney Tunes bullshit, and it was hilarious.
It was great. I'm not gonna lie, I like that scene too.
Yo, was anyone looking at what's the African warlord's name, which I thought was just
Sawande.
Anything but that. I was like, yo, is this nigga Moon Knight?
No, not anymore.
I was really hoping to be Moon Knight, but
not
I
anymore.
liked the way he played it. I liked him being able to I like Stick telling him he'll hit you a couple times to kill all your nerve endings.
And that's what he did.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, because we had talked about before how sometimes you get some of the later scenes, you get some of the regular hand guys fighting Luke. Sometimes you're like, well, how are you even making him move? But I like that fight because it's like, oh, he really is, because you can tell he wasn't trying to hit Luke hard. He was hitting for nerve endings. I'm like, oh, well, okay, he's actually doing pretty good here. I like that.
Actually, though, I was a little bit disappointed. I wanted to see more from him, because when I saw the actor, I looked him up on IMDb, and apparently he's like some like master Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like world ranked fighter.
Oh, wow.
So I just wanted him to like stick around. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, we're about to get the illest fight scenes. He's about to be like,
it's not his show.
I know, but I just got like excited when I read his like bio, and he was the first one to fall. I was like, well, I guess not. I guess.
I like when Luke shows up too, and this goes to another problem I have. Small problem. Again, these are small nitpicking problems. I really enjoyed, particularly 4 and 5 is some of my favorite episodes. When Luke shows up, to tell Claire, hey, look, I can't tell you, can't talk about this. There's too much danger goes on. She's like, let me guess, you took the fight to the hand. It went well at first. Now we're all in danger. And I'm like, yeah, so I need you guys to start understanding that Claire knows more about this than most of the people that are fighting right now. So you might want to start listening to Claire, because she's actually fought the hand. You know, she's been in on this. So I kind of felt weird. Go ahead.
Was it episode 6 where Colleen or Claire tells Colleen, you're the foundation or something?
I think that's 6. Because
they're all at the police station by then.
Okay, I saw that. Like, I guess Claire was trying to give her a pep talk, but I was like, bitch, you are the foundation.
Right.
Like, you are the one who knows all this shit. You got all the details. You got all the dirt. You know about this more than anybody else. Don't give your shine to nobody else. I love Colleen, but girl.
Well, that goes to my problem when Luke was talking to Claire. It's like, oh, no, I got to protect you, stuff like that. It's like, yo, Luke, she's fought the hand before. This is your first interaction with them. She's fought the hand twice. So it's like, actually, you don't have to apologize to her.
But that's what Luke would say. He's a heroic motherfucker. Like, that's what he's supposed to say.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't see how is that a problem at all.
And can I just say, fought? Kriss, fought is a very generous term. She got thrown out the window by the hand.
Details.
Well, no, technically in Iron Fist, she did fight the hand.
She stood while Colleen fought the hand.
No, she fought him too.
That's
she
a
fought
generous
too.
term.
She fought. Hey, look, she fought more than Danny did.
That's not true either.
Wait, so I'm sorry. She fought more than Finn Jones did. Because I know I have this in my notes here.
What is happening?
That this was being recorded right now. I wish that this was being recorded right now, because my face when you said she fought more than Danny did. I was like,
are we gonna?
Well, look,
he's not quite wrong.
So funny story here. So funny story here in episode 5 when because at that point when Luke and Claire are upstairs and Danny and Colleen in the car and they split up, and then Danny fights the hand in the alley. I was like, you know what? They did a really great job. The reason why they did a really great job with Danny's fight scenes this season is they did a better job of hiding when his stunt double's in there, because this motherfucker puts his hood up for no fucking reason other than the fact that, oh, we need to switch Finn Jones out so his stunt double's there so he can fight these motherfuckers. Because that scene was actually pretty good. I'm like, wow, he's actually fighting. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not Finn Jones. That's why. Like,
you know, Charlie Cox doesn't naturally fight those people too.
Well,
Right?
I know, but it's like it's
but
not.
Charlie makes it look good.
Yeah, they make it look. They don't make it that obvious. Like, he put his hood up for no goddamn reason in that.
That obvious. The nigga is wearing a mask. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying in the.
That doesn't make sense.
No. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You see it. Finn Jones can't do shit.
The switch out's most obvious. That motherfucker's wearing a mask.
Okay. I know. You're trying to defend Finn Jones. I'm gonna let you
I'm
say
just
it.
being
No, well, I'm
logical.
going to
And you
say
keep telling me not.
no. I'm going to say that Charlie has a stunt double, yes, but you didn't see them cut away from his scenes when he wasn't wearing his mask as much as they cut away from Finn's face when
I
he
just
was.
watched this. I just watched Daredevil twice. Yes, they did.
Okay.
Now, I'm talking about in this show, in Defenders that I just finished
He
watching.
doesn't
They
fight
did
without
not.
the mask.
Yes, he does. He was kicking Finn's ass without the mask.
Okay, all right.
Point, doctor.
All right.
Point, doctor.
Oh, man.
It's okay. Finn will be all right. He's a
he-
white man in
he's-
America.
he's-
He'll be
yo,
all right.
He started
White
to,
man on planet Earth. He gonna be just
he started
fine.
he started to train for season 2. He'll be better next season. He will be. He's getting there. He's falling out. He's eating his Wheaties, spinach.
Poor little Tink Tink.
Yeah, he's doing some push-ups and sit-ups in between sets. He's doing pretty good for himself. He's getting there. So yeah, and I was not expecting. So again, I get it, but bringing back what's his name, Colleen's mentor,
Bakudo.
Bakudo.
Like I'm glad they did that, but then you got to go ask. It's like, well, you said that you used the last of it to bring back Elektra. He was dead, so I'm assuming you didn't actually use the last of it. But I guess he had more in South America because that's where he came. Like, I don't know. Like, again, I get it. But it just feels like one of those things where it's just like, I wish you guys had made it a little bit smoother. Like, again, small nitpick here. Just wish the transition had been a little bit smoother to understand it. Although I was shocked when it was him. And I'm actually kind of glad because I think that it's good. He's good for Colleen's arc. And I remember when, because I had this look on my face when Danny says, "Oh yeah, I remember the last time we faced off." I'm like, technically, it wasn't you, Danny. It wasn't you. That wasn't. You can't take credit for that shit. Like that's some.
Can we also say that this time it wasn't him? It was Luke. So he's 0-2.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like Sam taking credit for figuring out
Gilly.
Gilly for taking credit for Gilly's work. It's like I don't know about that one, sir. You kind of did you really face off? Because she's the one that actually kind of killed him, not you. No, I'm just saying, just small details, and yeah. So I guess this is going into episode 6. Did we ever find out what exactly they're using the Black Sky for? Like,
just
Black Sky is supposed to be the ultimate weapon.
so are they just using? So are their plan to get into Kunlun and then use her to kind of defeat?
No, that's the thing. That wasn't their plan at all. That's why they were pissed at Alexandra.
Right. So what is Alexander's plan with the Black Sky?
That's the question.
So okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, my understanding was their plan was to get back to Kunlun,
Yes.
and continue to be immortal. Which I was kind of like, maybe if you stop being such horrible people, they'll let you come back.
Oh, whoa, come on now. Well, that's like telling all those I'm a good guys say, hey, stop being a MRA dick, and maybe you'll actually get some women to like you. Come on, we can't do that. We gotta go the hard way. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, I'm like, you're doing all this killing, and wasn't that the whole reason they said you couldn't come back? Maybe we switched up.
No, the reason they left because they said they wanted immortality over the peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now that they've, like you said, it's children who wanted something, got what they wanted. Like, we don't want this. We want something else. But even that, like, the plan becomes specious because once we find out in the later half of the season what's the bottom of the hole, that's not a way to Kunlun.
Right.
It's not a doorway.
So yeah, we'll get into that next episode. But it just, I was always confused as to what the plan was. Okay, she's your ultimate weapon, but why? Like, I guess that's one of the other weakness with Alexandra. Again, I think if you get another actress other than Sigourney Weaver, I think it bothers me more. But it's like, okay, what? I'm like the other finger to the hand trying to figure out like what are you going to use her for? Like, she's your ultimate weapon, but your plan is to get back to Kunlun. How does she help you for that? Like, you've made everybody vulnerable. You made everybody mortal again and can't be resurrected. So you can bring her in, but what are you going to use her for?
But was the plan really to bring her to get back to Kunlun is my question, because when they, like, well, not trying to skip ahead, but when they finally do achieve the goal they said they set in using Iron Fist, it's not a doorway. It's like another way to prolong their search back, I guess. That always, like, on the rewatch, that one kind of fell apart if you're trying to follow that thread through the series.
Yeah, and again, I guess let's table this for now, and I'll bring this back up when we see those last two episodes, because that was the one thing that was getting me. I just wasn't getting it. I wasn't able to find it, follow that one too well. And I guess, again, I'll rewatch the last two episodes, and then we'll figure that out for there. Also, because we brought up the Bakudo fight with Luke stepping in. I love it when Luke fights disrespectful. Like when
he just threw him like he wasn't shit.
Right. Like, I love it when he's not looking at somebody he throws across the street. Like, that's the thing I like. I that's the Luke Cage I like seeing. It's like, yeah, I don't. What was this? Are you a fly? Yeah, I'm done with you right here. Go over there. So, love that. And I think this is the first episode we get Matt back in the suit.
Yep.
Yes!
So that's...
Oh, sorry.
and angry ass Jessica's, of course, the first one to see him in it.
Right.
And Trish is like, whoa.
Jessica's like, shut up, you look stupid.
Yeah, nice ears, they're horns. Like, she just asshole. But
they're best friends. They love each other.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
That's how best friends talk.
Yeah. Everybody you pair her with in this show, she does great with. It's a great pairing.
I'm sorry. I love how Luke and Danny react to Matt starting to question Sawande as Daredevil, and Danny's like, oh, that's really cool, and Luke's like, oh, I guess it's kind of cool.
Yo, Luke trying to play it cool was so. I was like, Luke, it's cool.
Oh man, yeah, and then yeah, and
we get stick signature move.
Yeah, the cutting off the heads. Yeah.
Disrespectful decapitations.
Yeah, just got it. And then, like, and can somebody get Stick some new clothes? Cause he keeps wiping, all this blood on. Like, he cuts off the head, and then you watch him as he wipes both sides of the sword on his pants leg, and I'm like, dude, I think you've been wearing the same clothes since season 1 of Daredevil. Can somebody get this man some clothes?
Didn't he meet preteen Matt wearing them clothes?
Oh my God.
I can't remember.
He's been wearing for a decades worth of cake. He's a fucking serial killer. How is nobody stopping this man?
That's how you know he's a really good ninja, because no one smells him.
I'm
That's
sorry.
how you reach peak ninja.
No, son, that dude stank. I'm sorry. He
cut his head. He didn't smell that sword coming, did he?
You always know Sticker's up to something. Because he disappears. Like in that scene when they're arguing with Danny, where they're arguing at Matt because Matt didn't tell them about how Stick is not his friend and stuff like that. And Stick, you see someone starting to get loose, and Stick disappears in that scene. You're like, Stick knows what's going on. He sees doesn't see technically, but he knows what's going on, and shows up right in the right place and cuts his head off. And it's just like, yeah, this fucking ninja.
And they showed him. It was like a quick slow motion when Finn and Matt. I'm sorry, I keep calling him Finn. I'm being so disrespectful to that child. When Danny and Matt are fighting, at one point when they go past them, it slows down and you hear him taking it in. And I feel like that's when he repositioned himself because he knew what was going on.
Yep. Also, this goes back to episode. I guess the beginning of this episode. I love when Luke shows up at the dojo. I love the fact that right before they show you that it's Luke, they showed Matt's face and Matt smiles and he knows that way.
That was such a great touch. Yeah.
Like again, it's small things like that I'm like, yo, I really appreciate them that you noticed that. So it's like Matt just kind of cracks a smile, like, oh no, we're good. It's Luke.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that stuff. And last thing here, because I think it's important when we bring it into the next episode. One, the Elektra, is Alexandra kind of suggesting that Elektra has died before. She says it's clear you know much more than anyone has in one lifetime. So
this is my question. So in the comics, the hand is tied to a larger mythos where they worship this demon called the Beast, and that's how they resurrect themselves and all that stuff. There's an arc in Daredevil where Daredevil is possessed by this beast and becomes leader of the Hand, and in doing so, he gains all this knowledge of ancient fighting styles.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe, and that's why I was kind of, are we going this way with Elektra? Because if you're telling me that her death imbued her with all this knowledge, then is something else in this vessel. I don't know. Did anyone else have trouble? It got cloudy for me with the way this episode ended and played out.
The thing for me is they keep jumping between different things. Because even when they're talking about the substance, at one point they kind of suggest that it's an organism, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, so it goes to what you were saying here. If it's the black sky, is it a larger piece of organ? Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like they're seeding a couple of things and they don't know where they want to go. And so they're kind of throwing some things out there that they could go to in the future.
I think they may know, but we just may not. I think that's also part.
And maybe that's it too.
Because now they've got an idea of what kind of growth is possible on this platform.
And maybe that's what it is too. Because again, I'm looking at all these shows, and as they've been multiple seasons, almost like how they've gotten their feet wet, and now they can get to a larger thing, kind of like what Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. did, but it's taking them a little bit longer. And I'm also hoping that maybe it's because Perlmutter will be out and he's getting less involved, and that means they can get more solid shape. Weird. And strange, and go more into the mythos there. I don't know. So it's that, and then also, because I think it plays really heavily into the next episode when Alexandra kind of is thinking, she starts treating the Black Sky Elektra like it's her daughter that she's lost, but then she also kind of reminds her that you're a weapon, and if you don't do what your weapons are designed to do, then you're no use to us. It's like you're on one hand she's pretending like she's treating Elektra the Black Sky like it's her daughter, but on the other hand, you're still just using her. Which does not end out very well into the next episode. So, anything else on episode 5 before we get into this last episode and wrap this up?
Nope.
All right.
No, that's good.
Episode 6, Ashes to Ashes. Again, I just love the fact that everybody disrespects Danny.
They disrespected him so hard, and everybody was like, "Nah, just stay here, bro."
I'm a weapon, not a key. It's like I'm a real boy. I am a real boy. You're gonna respect me. I am a boy. No, Dan, you're just gonna you're no. Yeah. And I have it here. It's like, come on, Dan. You know the least of everybody in the room, which is not necessarily wrong.
I really like the writing in the beginning of this episode because, like you guys said, like they're all basically mocking Danny, but you have to understand, like for me, it really played well because first of all, he's been trained to fight his whole life, so of course a minor disagreement would turn into a fight really fast. Mm-hmm. And secondly, like he's been told his whole life, you were built to fight the Hand, and now like Hand's here, you can't fight them.
True.
So I kind of saw, and I really enjoyed like watching him and Matt fight, and you see like the difference in the fighting styles.
Right. Yes.
Because Matt's definitely Matt's a brawler. Matt's a fucking boxer.
Yeah.
And you watch Danny, and then you realize that Danny's also fighting everyone else.
Yeah.
Like he's got his eyes on Luke the entire time. You're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was for me. It's just kind of highlighted why I liked all of them together because they all complement each other so well.
Well, and again,
and of course, it ends with Jessica getting annoyed and punching him in the face.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. As much as I love the disrespect of Danny in here, and him, you know, everybody just ignore him. I totally understand where he's coming from in this episode. At no point, it does not feel like this is one of the few times when Danny has a whine fest where I'm not exactly annoyed by what he's saying because, like you said, I get why Danny would feel this way. One, you got to remember, he's also the youngest one out of the group. It looks like. I'm assuming he's the youngest one out of the group. So
he's definitely the least worldly of the four of them.
Right. So it's like, well, and you got to think about it. You know, he doesn't have. He's just getting back to basic human interaction to begin with. So his reactions here, like his whining, if you want to put it in quotes, whining here, or his reaction, I totally get. It's totally believable here. And other times I'm kind of going, oh, I don't want to hear this. This is kind of here though. I'm like, I really do understand why Danny is so upset and why he's losing his temper and why he's getting upset. Like you said, you've been training your whole entire life to take on the Hand, and then I'm telling you guys on the sideline. He basically acts like that kid who's in high school who's like, you know, hey, you're our number one pick. You're our number one quarterback. You're going to be out there championship comes up, and it's like, yeah, so we're not going to start you. We're actually going to take you on the bench. And he's going, the fuck you are. What the fuck? So, yeah, I totally get that. You know? Totally get that. And, yeah. But he definitely deserved to get punched by Jessica because Jessica tried to stop Matt from fighting Danny, and Danny
Jessica's on his side, and he made her get involved.
Right. You brought this on yourself. Just come on. So that's on you. Also, he said, I dedicated my life to this fight. And I was like, you did leave Kunlun, though. So.
I love the revisionist history. Like, I dedicated my life. You left.
Right. I'm just like, how did hit that?
It's like Stick said. It's like Stick said in episode 4. You're the dumbest Iron Fist ever.
Yes.
I watched Iron Fist like maybe a week or two before I watched Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
And not for nothing, but I understand why Davos was mad.
Oh no! No, Davos is right. Don't get me wrong. Davos is. Oh, I'm on board with the Davos.
And you see it so much. Like every single time he's like, "I'm the immortal Iron Fist. I trained for this. I won the," and like I get why everybody's looking at him like, you need to stop.
Look,
because.
Davos is wrong because Davos lost.
Look,
they was in a competition and Davos lost.
You know what Davos, this is?
He may be logically right, but he's also salty as fuck.
Nope. You know what I think happened? You know that story where they made those two girls valedictorians just because it was a black girl down in the South? That's all this was. See, Davos actually won, but they couldn't handle the white man not getting it, so they just gave it to him because it would make everybody feel better. That's all this was.
Look, every time Danny says that I'm the immortal Iron Fist and I'm the defender of Kunlun, I pull out a red Solo cup and I just start shaking my head, walking away like, oh, you sure about that, sir? Because you kind of did leave and you kind of can't find your way back home, so maybe you should actually talk to the hand because they kind of seem to know how to get back. But anyway, and again, we get another moment here where it's Jessica and Luke are so great together.
Yes.
They just
yes.
Sorry. They just
they're
are
so beautiful.
They're great together, and yeah, and also again, like pairing Jessica with Matt, also great. You know that works out really well when they go to the architect's house to talk to his daughter, and Jessica again once again proving that she's good at her fucking job, retells the story of what happened with Matt's father. And it's like, yo, you did that? Like, when did you do that? And what in between what bottle of whiskey did you do all of this? Like, she's got to give her credit, man. She's good at her job, and I love that. I love that they keep hammering that home, that she's doing that.
Jessica puts the fun in functioning alcoholic.
But she does. Definitely.
I also like though that it solidified kind of that part of the team. Kind of because even though Matt agreed to work with him, he still seemed to be sitting on the outside, and I feel like this was a way of drawing him in.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the fact that he even took her back to her apartment. First of all, can I just say, I love that they addressed why Matt's apartment seems so nice and how he can afford it. Like, again, small details, very important.
They did it in episode 1, season 1 of Daredevil.
Oh, they did do it then too?
Yeah.
The very first episode.
Love they brought it back up again then. Love they brought it back up. I completely forgot, and it's not something I think about, but you know, every now and then you got to rewind it. It's like, oh yeah, there's a red sign there that turns on that everybody doesn't want to use. So, yeah, it's like, oh, that makes fucking sense. And we didn't talk about this last episode, but again, Elektra as the Black Sky, you can start seeing her start to get more and more. I mean, besides the fact that she's kind of been pulling her punches with Matt, you see her go to Matt's place, break in, which Matt, you need better security. I don't understand. Come on, what are you doing here? And she took the card from her funeral out of the Bible he had. So, and again, so does Matt
is such a Catholic. God, it's annoying. So moody and brooding and of course he has the card from her funeral in his Bible. Boy, Jesus.
Oh yeah, just a woman he loved. I mean, yeah, sure.
No, he's just so extra. Like everything
is woman you love died. Get the fuck over it, Matthew. He blames himself. Move on. That was last week. Let's go.
all that Catholic guilt.
He
It's
says
like,
it was his
now I
fault.
can never I can never fight again because the
You
woman
do
I
realize she
love,
literally
like,
died in his arms.
She died in his arms.
Oh
literally
yeah,
died in his
I
arms.
was there. I was
Okay,
there.
all right. I'm just saying, like, there's. I feel you on the extra Catholic stuff. I also realize that the woman he loved died in his arms.
I mean, but there was like 2 months ago. I mean, come on, man.
I know, man. Like you got rent and shit. Let's get back on the horse.
Yo,
Okay.
I got the Judge Judy like tapping the wrist. Come on, we got time to come on.
The wrap it up.
Okay.
Box.
We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap it up.
No, I can help Shanna understand it. Shanna, Chris Evans dies in your arms. Are you over it in 2 months?
I'm not saying he should be over it. I'm just saying he's so freaking Catholic about it.
That was some Deion
He's
Sanders
so-
back pedal. That was amazing.
He's so tortured about it. It's like Matt just like put him up on a freaking cross and he'd feel so at home. God.
So I got a question.
Congratulations on nailing the core of the character Daredevil.
Yeah.
You did.
No, that really is.
Oh my God, Frank Miller's on the line, guys.
No, that really is. She's like, yo, can I use this for my story next? So do you think that Matt put it together that it was a lecture in the house?
He smelled her.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, she
That's
does.
the next thing.
I mean,
Smell those stitches.
Listen, Electra put it on him. He smelled her.
Well, I was going the she's a zombie route, so she probably does kind of
Yeah,
fucking
so it's
stink.
not like embalming fluid. It
Right.
smells disgusting.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot. It's a lot of smelly people between her and fucking Stick, man. Oof. No wonder his smell. No wonder his sense of smell is so fucking
and
strong.
Jessica's not fresh.
Those are. Hey, listen, I figured it
Why
out.
are we always shading Jessica?
Because
Those are drunk.
those are
Gets
definitely
shaded.
the same fucking jeans. They have the same on the left butt pocket. It's the same fucking frayed pocket.
I have once in my life been described as a drunk, and I was shit.
Right.
It's okay. She can take it. She'll forget about it.
Yeah, no, she won't remember. She's just drunk. She won't
She'll
remember.
black out and forget about
Right,
it.
she won't remember it.
Y'all are horrible. Leave Jess alone.
Yeah, we're horrible when we shower. Point Chris
Point
and
Chris.
Depop.
Advantage Chris.
Yes, advantage. God damn it! I don't even know what I'm doing now. Let's see.
I'll say something about episode 6. I loved the Matt and Jess scene, but I felt that for a lot of it, it felt like we were after the fight and before the last 15 minutes, which is awesome. It felt a lot of kind of treading water.
Yeah, I think this is the weakest episode out of all of them.
But it still had my favorite ending.
It had my favorite. But you know what? It also had for me. Had my. I don't even say. I think they're both the same. My one of my favorite Luke and Danny scenes.
Oh yeah.
I think the Luke and Danny. They're these. You know what it is for me this episode? It's the pairings. Pairing Jessica and Matt, and then pairing Luke and Danny. I think that's what makes it so that this episode, not a lot really happened per se, in the middle, but those scenes are there, and that's what makes it for me. Because like that Luke and Danny scene is just so fucking good. It's like you had me tied up like a prisoner. Not like you're definitely a prisoner. Not a good look for you. Like it's just the asshole takes back. Why don't you tell me more about how you punched a dragon and got your magic hand? So I was dude. I was kidding. And Danny got so distraught. And Luke was like,
his feelings was hurt.
his feelings were so hurt. And because Luke is such a good person, he's like, fine, so, you fought a dragon, huh? No, okay. Go ahead and tell me about it. and Danny went and told, it was such a good fucking scene between those two. Because again, it goes into the core of those characters liking and how they work together as a pair. You got to put them together. I fucking like that. Is another one of my scenes between that and the scene of them and the royal dragon eating the dumplings. Like that, I love those two together. It's just so fucking good.
Was it episode 1 or 2 when they like first meet, like
It's
when they
2.
first fight?
I think it's 2.
Episode 2.
Okay, so episode 2, I was like, oh my god, this meet cute is so adorable. And then this episode, I was like, oh my gosh, watch Luke and Danny fall in love.
Mhm.
Like, it's just, you just watch it build throughout the series. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, they're totally in love with each other now.
Yeah. It's bromance. Because you even get like Danny kind of call. It's like, so you and Jessica, what's going on with that? Nothing. No, I don't know what you're talking. Basically, going some. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Luke was trying so hard to not be like, she's wonderful, isn't
Right.
she?
Right. I also love the fact that he was like, yo, I'd face a dragon any day over Jessica Jones. Because he told her that, yeah, took a shotgun to the face from Jessica. Really? Yeah.
Arjess?
Arjess? Yeah. I'd fight a dragon before Jessica. And, not
What
wrong.
was funny about that too was Danny kind of agreed, like, yeah.
Well, to be fair, he did get knocked out by Jessica. So, Jessica 1, Dragon 0, I can see. He's undefeated against dragons. He is definitely defeated against Jessica Jones. Just saying, the numbers don't bear out in your favor.
And this is why I don't believe that he is the immortal Iron Fist. Everybody be kicking his ass.
Oh goodness. So I like that, and yeah, I think to me the biggest thing too is also the turn we get with Electra, because I have in here, for Game of Thrones fans, I have my notes like a dragon is not a slave vibes from Electra, because that's literally what they were treating her as. I mean, but that's literally what they were treating her as. They were treating her like a weapon. They weren't treating her as a real person. They were calling her the Black Sky. They weren't calling her Electra. I mean, the first time they're called Electra is when Alexandra shows up at the grave, at her gravesite, and kind of tells her, it's like, yeah, you were Electra Natros, and blah 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 blah, and kind of goes through all that. But it's like, yo, you're kind of treating her and kind of not making her feel welcome. If she does get her memories back and she does get her act together, she's gonna kill somebody, and she definitely does.
But I think that was part of the deal with the Black Sky, was that we're not getting something that has memories.
Right.
We're getting an empty vessel to pour the Black Sky into. And this has kind of that's kind of the rub that becomes the problem. Before we get to that, I loved the Gao Alexandra scene.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, that and then
And if you look at the way that scene opens, because of the way they shoot Gao in the mirror, it looks like comic panels.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is the closest you're going to get to a comic panel on television. Just for me, it was just like a little tiny. I really appreciated it.
So you know what it is? I actually did like all the scenes with the hand, a gal. Even when what's his name? Shows up to base. Murakami shows up to kind of fight and kill Alexandra. I like again. It just goes back to the whole thing. I feel like those scenes would have made more impact if they had done a better job of setting up the long game with the hand in other seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have felt better, because again, you see that, like, I have my notes here. Gal's playing the long game. Everybody else is kind of short sighted and kind of disrespecting Alexander up front. Gal kind of realizes, like, we got to ease into this. We got let me play the long game and say, oh no, we're not really questioning you. We just want to make sure everything's okay. And she's doing this, but you can see Gal's really like on some. This is not going to work out. Like when she walks.
Well, even
go ahead.
Alexander points out that one of the times the coup was led by Gao.
Yeah. And we've seen that, and I again, like there's this whole backstory that they're kind of shoved. I think this is where I like the 8 episodes pacing wise for the story. I feel like there is a better story to tell with the hand here than they've set up for all these seasons, because they've had 3 other seasons to set this story up, and they kind of have like the overall thing they're doing with the whole Midland Circle and things like that, but the intricacies of the organization, they've kind of shoved into these last 2 seasons of with Iron Fist and Defenders, and I don't know. I kind of wish they had. Cause I think there is some good stuff there. Like I like seeing these interactions there. Like when Murakami shows up and he's basically like, hey, yeah, he's talking all nice to Alexander, and then he switches all of a sudden to, I wanted your last meal to be a good one. You're like, what the fuck is he about to kill her?
Yeah, but I think that's actually kind of the design, and it reveals it to be like pretty good writing, because we're left wanting more. we're supposed to want more of the villain because, I mean, there's just economy of scale. There's not enough space to give the villain's full story.
Yeah. No, I get it. Because then she's like, you're dumb enough to show up by yourself? And I was like, oh, are we about to throw down? Are we really about to see some shit? Are we about to see
I looked at the clock. I was like, ooh, 10 minutes left.
Yeah, and I was like, and then Elektra comes in dragging Danny's body like a dick. Like she's dragging it like fucking, like one of our dogs drags in like, you know, like something they shouldn't have had. It's like, yo, see what I got here? I brought this in from the store. You like this?
Yo,
like,
can we talk about Elektra for a second? Because this combined Elektra Black Sky thing whipped everybody's ass and killed Stick.
She's a problem.
She's a fucking problem.
She's a fucking problem. She's definitely like, and that goes back to, and again, we'll talk about this next episode when we get into the ending, where I think they're trying to go with her as the Black Sky and why they wanted her as the weapon, because she's clearly a weapon. And another one of my favorite scenes in here, she literally slings Danny Rand over her shoulder, then jumps out a window and lands on a car, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can definitely see how she can kick everybody's ass, because she is a fucking problem, and yes, love that.
Can we also talk about the fact that basically they reenacted the scenes from Aliens and Alien 3 on Sigourney Weaver here? So when Elektra's resurrected, we pointed out that she grabbed her up kind of like she did Newt. And now in this episode, she gets implements pushed all the way out through her chest, similar to how she died in Alien 3. I'm like, okay.
That's actually an Elektra reference. That's how Elektra dies. The sigh goes through her because Bullseye does it, because I'm a nerd. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's the same
I
thing that
prefer
happens.
my story better.
Yeah, it's the same thing happens. Same thing happens.
Whatever. I was just here trying to help.
I'm teasing you.
Yeah, no, but I love that she finally gets the size. Like, we've been setting up for like what, 6 episodes almost about the size. Well, they don't have it in the
Kept
first
walking
episode.
past them like I was like, those are Chekhov's size.
Oh yeah,
Pick them up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she goes in there to do it, and I love it. She's like, his name is Matthew, and you're like, and once she says that, I'm like, she's really a problem now. Like, I was like, she was a problem before. She's really a problem now.
I was hoping they kept the receipt on the Black Sky. I was like, this one, you gotta take this one back. This one, no.
This is
a problem.
Where's that little boy from season 1? I know Stick killed him, but I'm like, they probably think,
can we find another one? Yeah, can we find another one? Mine's defective. My Black Sky is defective. It has another person inside of it. I want a new one. Can I get a new one? I do not want this one. Yeah, and I love the way they ended, because I'm just like, and she just the complete disrespect of throwing the side down at her face, and you like, again, using Gal to measure how much of a problem somebody is. The look on Gal's face is, oh no, she's really a fucking problem, because Gal looks fucking frightened. And you don't see, like, you never see Gal frightened. Like, even with Alexandra, she seemed kind of worried, or maybe even some like, okay, I'll do this, but I don't know about this. She saw the Black Sky, she was like, yeah, we got some problems here. So,
mess with the wrong one, and you keep calling her a weapon and not a person.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing: when you call somebody a weapon all the time, eventually you're gonna realize, well, if I'm a weapon, why can't I be used against you? Mm-hmm. So yeah, just come on, just not do the. Oh, and last thing too, when Matt was on the piano, he was playing the Daredevil theme, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wait,
he was.
You little asshole.
Yeah, dude, so, they had to layer this shit, man. It's really well done.
Yeah, no, I like the little things, the little callbacks and throwbacks they do. I mean, again, obviously, when we talk about the things, we find nitpicking things to talk about and things like that. But overall, man, I think they're running a better season. They're running things better and doing things better by doing these little call-ins and stuff like that. Like, I just wish they had been, for some of the overall details of the story, I just kind of wish they had seen them earlier. But even without that stuff, I'm still enjoying it. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and they're doing enough little fan service callbacks that, like that. I mean, you didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that scene, and they did though. And I'm like, I enjoyed that. So even though this episode was a little bit, again, it's kind of hard after coming off of 3 really great ones. Between
Right.
3, 4, 5 are so good. You get the 6, you're gonna get a little lull there, but it comes. It's just going down a little bit, not going down too much. So you guys have anything else you guys want to say about this before we wrap it up?
I do. Now I get it. This was established in Daredevil season 1 as the cornerstone of the universe. Ben Urich worked there. If the New York Bulletin isn't bought out by the Daily Goddamn Bugle by the next series I see, I'm going to lose my mind.
But it's not going to happen.
Daily Bugle, Spider-Man pictures. Let's do this.
It's not. You know that's
Let's
not.
do this, Marvel.
You know it's not going to happen. You know it's not going to.
Luke was reading a New York Bulletin when he was garden gaining, and I was like, that could easily be the Bugle. Just change. Sorry.
You know it's not going to. I want it to happen too, but it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen because it's Sony. Just yeah. I try not to think about it, but
You're wrong. It'll happen in about 6 to 8 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, you're right.
When Marvel takes back their rights.
Right. Once Venom and Silver and Black fail, and this whole Spider-Man-less
Those movies
universe
are
are never going to work, then we'll talk.
They're never coming out.
Right.
It doesn't look like anything to me.
Right? Thank you. That's the best policy.
Oh man.
Again, I feel bad because one of them is supposed to be directed by a black woman.
No,
Look,
look,
it's still not
Marvel.
gonna happen.
Marvel will pick her up.
Quality means that we can make bad movies too.
Marvel will get her a job. It'll be fine. Last thing
She's
too.
gonna get the check for signing the deal. She's gonna get paid.
Oh, true that. So that's all that matters. Also, Kastik calls out Luke for pulling his punches, and I'm like, yeah, valid. Got it. Hey, I know you don't want to hurt anybody, but sometimes you got to put some hurt on some people. So let's do that. So, last thoughts before we wrap this up.
I'm sad. We only have 2 left.
I know. It was too short. I agree that I don't think it needed the full 13, but I could have gone on for another 2.
Yeah, I think 10 would have been. I don't know.
I think on the rewatch, for me, it's kind of 8's hit that perfect place.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. I was shocked because I got through it in a night, but
it's the meal that you're really happy about, but you're like, I really couldn't have another bite.
Yeah, I guess it goes back to what I think we said this last week. I'd rather want more than feel like I got too much. So
yeah.
Hey, look at it this way, and we'll talk about this next week. We'll tease it now. We do have 13 episodes of The Punisher.
Yes.
Which
Oh my God! I should have went up to John Barenthal when I saw him in the hallway.
girl, we're gonna have a talk off of this about that. You know better. You know what to do.
It was because it was like a moment, but it was also like other people were around, and I was
I'm
trying to be
glad people are
professional.
excited about Punisher.
If you could see my face again, if we were on video, you could see my face right now. I'm side eyeing you like I did when you tried to sell me out on the Doctor Who talk.
That was great.
No, it wasn't.
We'll talk next week because I think there's some ways that they can actually beyond how dreamy John Berthal is. I think there are some ways they might be able to,
which is an important topic apparently.
It is an important topic.
It's extremely important. Also, I think he's an amazing actor.
No, I think he is too. But I do have some thoughts on maybe how they might do this season so that it can work. But man, I saw that. I was counting. They released the episode titles, and I counted how many episodes it was. I'm like, oh, so you're gonna do 13, huh? You're gonna do 13 of the Punisher.
I was like, oh, word.
Well,
Punisher.
You're pretty bold on that one. That's a bold. That's a bold move, Cotton.
Aggressive decision that I wouldn't make.
Bold move, Cotton.
I started going through to see how far Punisher in ongoing series went.
Yeah.
Because I was curious, like, how many story arcs would you say there are? And that's the thing. We'll talk about next week. But you've told the Punisher's interesting like 6 times. You've told 2 of those stories.
Yeah, like the
Daredevil issue with him taping the gun Daredevil's hand on the roof.
Yeah,
that's a very interesting moment. And then him killing people who kill his family. That's 2 of the 6 interesting Punisher moments.
Again, we'll talk next week. I think I know. I think I might know what they're gonna do.
They're doing Welcome Home, Frank. I think.
They got to do a bunch of. You got to do a bunch of flashbacks.
Exactly. That's the thing. Just do 3 or 4.
You got to do
13's aggressive.
Oh, that's a bold. bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
Hey, are you running the first 4 of Daredevil season 2 again? Because that may work.
Like,
just throw them in there, see if anyone notices.
All right, we'll have some talks next week. We will be back next week.
Deepom, go to bed.
We'll be back next week with the last
Prove me
2
wrong,
episodes.
Marvel. Prove me wrong.
So just so everybody knows, this is why we don't do Super Tuesday recaps with everybody on. This is why we don't do it. This is why we're only allowed to do it usually 2 people at a time, because you bring all 4 of us together, it becomes a mess. It's a great show. Don't get me wrong. It's a fucking amazing show. Listen. I am proud of all 4 of us. We did an amazing show right here. But there's a reason why we only do this every now and then, because it's too much for us all. But again, listen to us on Super Tuesday recap. The Doctor and Shanna are going to be reviewing Black Lightning for us this season, in addition to Supergirl. And we, Deepom and I, are back with The Flash, Arrow, Legend of Tomorrow, and Humans, and Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it comes back. So, yeah, we're
when you say it all together, it sounds weird.
It's a lot of
y'all
stuff.
Busy.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a little depressing.
Well, so you know what I like about it though is Inhumans and Agent Shield are not at the same time. They're also on Friday now, and Arrow's on Wednesday, so we actually have a little bit more time. So it's better than when everything was on Tuesday. Like there were 3 shows on Tuesday, and it was becoming too fucking much. So it's gonna be better. But follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Music. We're there. Super Tuesday recap. Leave us a 5-star review on the on iTunes, and we'll read it on air. And we will be back next week. Also, next week coming out, I'll have Deepom joining me with Justin from 3/5 Podcast. Secret Empire number 10 finally came out, and we're gonna wrap that series up and go back to it and just say
I'll be accepting apologies at Deepalm66 on Twitter.
Yeah, Nick Spencer wrote a hell of a fucking
all the apologies.
Story. So we will be back for that. So keep an eye out there on the feed, and yeah. As a matter of fact, the Doctor we just put out on the Character Corner feed another Awesome Con interview. I'm gonna stop putting Awesome Con in front of him, even though you made the content at Awesome Con. But we did an artist spotlight on that, and it's on the Character Corner feed. And Deepom and I are also going to be banking a lot of Character Corner episodes in the future. So, because this man's getting married, so we're gonna,
getting hitched,
getting married.
So
we're trying to get some episodes in there. Oh, and we've already decided we definitely are going to do Thor. We're going to try to get Thor knocked out before the movie comes out. So we got just let's do them.
I can do Lady Thor because I've read every single issue of Lady Thor.
We have.
That's have I.
Yeah, we got Thor.
You're getting married.
These are not the order. We have Thor, Batgirls, all the Batgirls, all of them, and Batwomen. So all the female Bat characters, we're gonna get all of them into probably 2 episodes. Batman, and there's another one we're gonna do. The Summers Brothers. The Summers Brothers are there as well.
Inhumans.
And Humans. We kind of forgot it because it's going to be a short show. It's not going to be long, guys. Trust me. I'm already starting to read some of the stuff. It's not going to be long. The newer stuff is great. The older stuff is...
Cosmic Marvel.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, guys. Super Tuesday recap. Until next time, we are out of here. Peace.